Hello Virgos. Okay, so I'm doing a shadow work reading today, which means we're going to take a look into our dark sides, our dark, deep feelings, the things we hide from ourselves, the things that keep tripping us up in life because of our own bad habits and bad behaviors and triggers and all these kind of things. So it's not looking outwards at like other people and the effect that they have on our lives. It's the effect of the stuff that comes from within, where perhaps something that somebody does provokes a certain response from us, but it's more internal, it's more about us, it's more about why we act the way we do, why we say the things we say, why we self-sabotage, why we don't have confidence in certain areas, anything that kind of holds us back, the kind of darker side of our own personalities. What do we need to work on? So because it's a shadow reading, it is going to more than likely trigger something in you. It's more than likely going to bring things up that you don't really want to look at, but it's like when you do that work, it liberates you from it. It unshackles those things. So if you are currently kind of like undergoing counselling or you have mental health stuff going on, it might not be the right time for you to do this reading. So big warning there, only carry on with this if you feel open, ready to listen, ready to kind of see if that does fit you or not, an honest look at yourself. If you're just going to get triggered and shout at me, then, just go, because, you're not ready. So, yeah, the idea is we do this work, it liberates us, and it works for me. But obviously I'm not a counsellor or anything like that, so use your own intuition to know what's right for you and what's not, and just leave anything else to the side for somebody else. Okay, so it's just looking at ourselves, figuring out if it's right for us or not. I'm using the Aleister Crowley deck. He's a very controversial figure. When I googled him, I was like a bit scared of this deck. It was given to me as a gift though, and I really wanted to try and build a relationship with it and figure out how I could integrate it into my normal system. So it's a bit of a dark deck, so it works really well actually for shadow work, and the booklet that comes with it is really helpful as well. So a little bit scary when you first approach it, but now that I'm used to it, I understand how to use that, how to turn something like, for example, anger that can be very destructive into something that's positive, into something that drives us forward to be better. So it's all about how you look at it, is the message with that. So again, just wanted to mention that because I thought some people may be a bit uncomfortable with such a controversial figure, but again, it might just not be your reading. That's fine, no offense. See you later. I would say that I've done 5 readings so far, actually more than that, because I've been using this system for myself off camera, and it's working really well actually. Some really interesting stuff coming through. So if you're open and ready, we'll get into it and it would be interesting. I'm waffling a little bit. Right, intuitive messages then, just quickly. I kind of had this sensation of being in an elevator, of like, I kind of saw like the metal doors and going up. I was going up, which is really positive because that's like ascension, right? Going up, your soul evolving, your soul getting on a higher level. But just be wary, what goes up can come down. So you don't want to slip back down into kind of negative behavior. You want to keep going up, keep improving, keep the vibration higher. And even if you do go down a level, even if you think, oh, I've had a bad week, I've really let things slip, just know that you can go back up again and you can keep going up. Don't let it all go to waste and just let that elevator plummet because you have one bad week. Does that make sense to you? I'm getting this really fidgety sense. I was trying to sort of do a yoga pose and meditate and let the messages come through for you, but I kept fidgeting. I was like fiddling with things and sorting my hair out and itching, and I just couldn't keep still. So I don't know if you're in a very fidgety mode right now. With that, I got a bit of a comparison with like your neighbor earth signs, Taurus and Capricorn, and especially like looking at your Mars placement. So Mars in Virgo would be a very fidgety placement. It's kind of like Virgo's this sign of like always wanting to get things done, always wanting to keep things moving. It's a very anxious sign. There's a lot of mental energy that comes along with Virgo energy. So even though you're grounded and practical and earthy, you do kind of tend to get in your head quite a bit. Always thinking, always working things out, always analysing, very analytical, yeah. So it's like it is hard to kind of like just stay still and rest and release. So you may need to do some work on that, but also like check out your Mars placement, because you could be Virgo but have something quite a little bit lazier, perhaps like Libra's a very laid back sign, Leo's a very laid back sign. You may have something that's a bit earthier, like a bit, not earthier, a bit lazier, you know, in terms of your Mars placement. But also comparing to, like, again, the other earth signs, Taurus is a bit more of a laid back sign than Virgo, and Capricorn is more like steady progress. So I don't know why that comparison is coming through, but it is. Yeah, check out your Mars placement. There's something to do with your health as well. Virgo comes in with this health aspect. You can see I'm using my hands a lot. You're ruled by Mercury. It's all about like hands, like and fidgety. Yeah. So you may need to go and blow off steam. You may need to take up some kind of like physical exercise. Go for a run. Go for a walk. Meditate. Do yoga. But yeah, something to kind of like burn off that fidget energy. There's a sense of like not being able to let something go. It's like you need to go through things. So you could be like literally taking stock of something, or like figuring something out in your head. It's like this taking inventory, taking stock thing going on for you, like ticking things off. So you may have like a list that you can tick off. It may be helpful for you if you're in your head to kind of write things down, tick things off a list. You know, you can see your progress then. I was getting names, especially names that started with like a K and a D. So I got my own name, which doesn't surprise me because I know so many Virgos. Virgos look after me. I thank the universe for Virgo energy, because without Virgo energy I'd be a hot mess. Like, so many Virgos in my life that just look after me because I'm an idiot. I've got Gemini moon, I'm all over the place. Yeah, so thank you Virgos for looking after people like me. But yeah, I got my own name. I'm Karen, so there could be another Karen out there that you're dealing with. It could just be that Karen energy, you know, like if you think of the meme. And then I was getting like da sounds, so like Daniel, dad, like not, I thought maybe David, but it was more of a da than a dare. So da da da. And yeah, so the ah sound. So if you think of like Karen, Daniel, dad, is the ah sound. I mean, you may pronounce it differently if you're not from Manchester, like ah, but yeah, that long ah sound is coming through for some reason. And then I got the word or the name Crystal. It seemed to me not a name that I'd normally hear. It was spelled quite specifically as well. It was like Krystal, like crystal. So I don't know why that's come through, but it could be something for somebody. Could be that you're dealing with something with literal crystals, because I was also getting silver and gold, which I'll come back to. I was getting like a smoky environment, so some of you may have grown up in or be in a smoky environment where people are smoking around you, or perhaps it's like you know, some kind of like a club with like smoke. I'm just getting like smoke, especially like that feeling in my lungs. Maybe you do smoke. You know, again, going back to look after your health. I was getting music and lyrics through again. This was coming through a lot, a good few months ago. The film Music and Lyrics with Drew Barrymore and British actor from Notting Hill, Hugh Grant. Is he in Notting Hill? I don't know. Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore, that movie anyway, Music and Lyrics. So there could be something in there for somebody. Maybe you're writing a song, maybe you're working, collaborating with somebody, maybe... I don't know, but the song from that as well, Pop Goes My Heart, came back out, and Gold and Silver, which used to come up a lot. It's like, it's funny, I've literally wrote down, funny how things come back around, and then I got the lyric, no explaining. There's no explaining why things come back up again or how things come back around. So right, that's it for intuitive messages. I haven't actually randomized you a song, so I may just do that off camera now while I get a drink of water. And then we'll get into pulling cards on camera for you. So I'll be back with you in a minute. I tried to say in a minute and in a moment, and it just came out as in a minute. All right, Virgo, so there could be something to do with having faith in yourself or having faith in something, because you've got When You Believe by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. We've been moving mountains long before we knew we could. You will when you believe. So yeah, having faith, having belief in something may be difficult for you. Okay, let me just tune in, sorry. Okay, shadow work, Saturday, Virgo energy. Interference, the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is about feeling blocked, feeling tied up, like you can't move, being stuck in your own head. It is a card about being stuck in your own head. So you need to use your intuition and, like, yeah, use your that inner knowing, that inner voice, like the belief that, so you feel stuck and you need to use you're stuck in your own head. You think you're stuck, but your belief, your faith, your inner guidance system can be what gets you unstuck from this. Prince of Wands. That's a slightly reckless energy. The Prince of Wands is very confident. They do take action. They do trust their gut. They're very. It's not so much. It's not so much intuition, like third eye energy. It's not so much like divine guidance. This is more like instincts. This is more like that id energy of like impulsiveness. Kind of like this. Is it the solar plexus chakra? One of the lower chakras, to do with like courage and determination and like confidence. Yeah, it feels like you've got to almost like be impulsive to get out of a situation. It's almost like, you know, when you see people do like in spy movies and stuff where there's all the lasers. I actually know a Virgo who's done something similar to this as part of like an event. So like all the lasers, and you have to kind of like move through the lasers, but it's like almost like moving slowly through the lasers. You set off the alarm, you know, you're not meant to move slowly through it. You're meant to like backflip through it. If you ever see like the spy movies where people like you know, they can move slowly, but the other person will kind of like, you know, cartwheel and backflip and do it very intuitively. It's almost like that's what you've got to do now. You've got to run at this, like Harry Potter, right? Like the what is it, platform 9 3/4, is it? Have I got that right or wrong? It's like you've got to run at the wall. Like you only think it's a block, so you have to confidently like charge at it, because you can't see, you can't like knowing, like your head is like, that's a brick wall, I can't run through that. So there's this like courage. It's really coming through as like my stomach area. I don't know if you can quite see off camera, my hands keep going to my stomach. So let's have a look at what this means. So again, this is the shadow. This is what's difficult for you. This is what this is where the problem is for you. This is where there's potential to improve this. So I'm just going to stand up. So Eight of Swords, interference. Jupiter in Gemini. So again, I was just saying potential. There's potential for growth here. Whenever there's something that holds us back, whenever there's an obstacle, whenever there's something difficult within us, it's actually an opportunity, because overcoming that, there's a huge amount of potential there. So it's almost like when you run through that wall, you come out onto the other side and you realise actually what is out there for you. Excuse me a second. Okay, I just paused while people were chatting outside, and it was 13:31 on the timestamp, and I only realised as I was stood there waiting. But it's so funny because I paused at 13:31, and my curtains like were billowing, like fully, if I can try and show you here, like fully billowing, like completely covering the screen like that, and then they've just basically like sucked back out of my hand then and gone back into position. So there must be something to do with that, like cloud of vision, like you can't see. I was also thinking as well about the similarity of like the Leo, oh my goodness, noise in like talking about interference, right? I have, are you serious right now? I have to have my window open because it's really, really hot in the UK, and I can't stand to have it shut. So we're going to have that kind of background noise in the reading. It's just what it is. So yeah, something about like in the Leo reading, there was like a door that was closed. And again, they were getting this thing about trying to push through the door, but pushing from both sides. So they had to like step back. They've had it for like 2 weeks running now. The same message came through, and there's something similar for you where it's like it looks like it's a closed door or a brick wall, but what you have to do is kind of take a run up, is how it's coming through. You have to take a run up. Like there's something to do with like what you can see. Like you can't see with that thing coming across. You can't see or think, so you have to feel through this. Right, okay, let's just go into it. Jupiter in Gemini, and again, Jupiter is about expansion. Expanding out in different directions as well with Gemini. I'm sorry, I'm right, Virgos, I'm sorry guys, or girls, I don't mean to say guys, I use that as a gender neutral term, but Virgos, problems with endurance. I'm sorry it says that, problems with endurance. I don't know. Worry from thinking too much, difficulty making a choice. Okay, I'm going to go with what's in my head. It doesn't have to be this for you, but it's take it as a metaphor. Okay, so problems with endurance. It's almost like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm just laughing because it's like a bit rude. It could be like if you were having a sexual encounter with somebody and you were really, really excited and you were male and you had male things going on, actually overthinking, actually thinking, oh my God, I've got to give a really good performance here. I've got to kind of like really impress this person. It's the first time I've ever been intimate with this person. Like getting stuck in your own head, it could cause problems there because you're in an anxious mood. And it's not, this is like kind of the message that's coming through. It's like the situation you're in doesn't call for you to be stuck in your head. The situation you're in calls for you to be passionate. So you're using the wrong tool, if you will, to open the door if you will. So you need to get back into that passionate energy, that id energy. There's definitely a parallel with Leo's reading here. Okay, it doesn't have to be that situation, okay, and I'm definitely not laughing at you if that's the thing. But I think there's something here about getting out of your head and getting into the mood for whatever the situation is. Problems with endurance, worry from thinking too much. And that's what I said, right? That is exactly what I said at the start of the reading. That's what I got intuitively. And difficulty making a choice. 2 strong central swords are crossed by 6 crooked sabres. That's interesting. 2 strong central swords are crossed by 6 crooked sabres. You find yourself having to choose between 2 alternatives of apparently equal merit. You will not come to a decision by reflecting analytically. Your doubt or fears of making the wrong choice constantly destroy your inner clarity. They go again with clarity with their thing coming over. You are also lacking endurance, which you will need if you are to clarify this confused situation. No matter where you turn, no satisfactory solution seems to exist. The more you try to unravel the tangled ball of yarn, the tighter the knots become. Let things rest and develop on their own for a while. As long as doubts concerning these decisions remain, don't go for anything new. Jupiter is a harbinger of unforeseen and unexpected change for the better. The problem which seems unsolvable now will find its solution in its own way. So the question for you, Virgo, posed by this card is, Virgo, what alternatives are you torn between now? The suggestion is relax and let things develop. Draw cards for the possible alternatives. And the affirmation for you to practice saying is, I am relaxed and I trust life when you believe, right? So there's this thing about get out of your own head, go and do something else, like step away from the problem. And it doesn't even have to be like a specific scenario for you. That's going to go back past, I'm sorry. It doesn't have to be a specific situation or scenario. This could be like a habitual thing that you tend to do in your life. You're constantly posed with the need to make a decision. You're constantly posed with the need to move forward. But knowing how gets you stuck in your own head. So you may self-sabotage because you're so stuck in your head that you don't take any action at all. So there's this thing that's saying almost like release it, let go of your fear. Let go of your anxiety, let go of your over analytical tendencies, and just go with the flow a little bit more, see what comes up, take the easiest course of action, take the easiest route. Maybe you don't have to run at a brick wall, but trust that instinct though, trust the instinct. Like, you'll know when to take action. It's almost like a window will open up, you know, the brick wall will become a doorway, and it's like you've got a moment to make a choice. Are you going to take action? So it's like live in the moment more and get out of your own head. All right, what else, please? More about this shadow energy for Virgo. More about the shadow energy for Virgo. That's quite a few cards. So I'm noticing Anima Mundi, which is a card about everything, like all, like oneness. It could also be telling you to meditate more. Can I please get one card? One card for Saturday for Virgo energy. Well, that was very decisive, wasn't it? The comic. Goodbye, noisy truck. The nectar. So it's like, yeah, lighten up. I think it's saying lighten up. There's also something to do with eyes here. So you see the thing billowing again there. Something to do with eyes. If you look at this cat's eyes, there's like a sadness there behind the mask, and then this looks like an eye. So it's like this inner world. So the nectar. Now the nectar is a card about the things that, please be quiet, cars. Why do they all have to be right outside the window? Honestly. They all have to stop right outside my window. They can't be up the road now. Right, so there's something here to do, like nectar is like the remedy. It's like the remedy for what ails you. So it can be lots of things, you know. Love is often a brilliant healer. There's something available to you that's going to heal this kind of like over analytical, kind of like almost like it's just coming through as like, I don't know how to move, so I'm getting anxious because I want to move but I can't move. So it's almost like, as it, you know, there's Chinese finger grips where it's like the more you pull at it, the tighter it gets. It has that kind of feel to it, like you're in like a snare of your own thoughts, and the more you thrash about in there, the tighter it gets, and the more difficult it is to see how to move. Or it's like, again, with the Harry Potter references, it's like, you know, the plant is called like the devil's snare or something, and they all fall in it and get caught in it, and as they're fighting, it kind of like it grips tighter, and Hermione says you have to relax, you have to just let yourself go really like calm and floppy, and you just kind of like fall through it. And it's that kind of thing. It's like you have to ease it, like you're too tense. Right, the comic though. So comedy is like a brilliant healer. Comedy may be the thing that you need right now. It just feels like lighten up, right? It really feels like lighten up, be silly, be a kid again. But that could feel quite difficult for you at this time. Again, going back to a reading that you had a while ago, it was like you were so anxious about something. It was almost like the work that you do was very intense, you know, like almost like you know, being in an emergency room, you know, you have to think quickly. It's a very stressful environment. Or like being like on Wall Street or something, you're like pinging off emails. It's like I need things to be fast, I need things to be clear, I need things to be like prompt. And it was getting you into this very kind of like anxious, stressed energy. And it was like, then you'd go out with friends, but you were so like, this energy is like the work energy come with you, and you couldn't relax. They're giving me I'm just trying to think of the name of it. It's Sean Mullins' Lullaby or Rockabye, and he says, I can see that you can't let go and you can't relax. So yeah, it's like you can't relax. You're so tense from these other situations that you're taking it throughout your whole life. And again, it could be something in childhood, and it's just affecting everything. You can't. I'm really feeling it in like my shoulders, like my shoulders and my neck. So like the tenseness, you know, you might have like migraines and stress headaches. Right, the Joker, the Clown, the Fool. The comic carries a remedy for all that ails this world. Again, the nectar and the comic are both like coming through with this sense of like remedy, of making something better. The nectar ties into the card about venom, which is a toxicity, and then the nectar is like the healing thing. So it's like comedy is what heals. But you can't lighten up. because you need to do the shadow work, right? Okay, sorry. The comic carries a remedy for all that ails this world. Amid the deepest pain and suffering, there is always the potential to lift up and out of the darkness through laughter. Though dismissed by some as lowbrow or unsophisticated, this archetype actually has a highly advanced mind. Some may use the word genius, as humour requires one to see the situation from afar rather than being swept away by the drama. So take a step back. Yeah, take a step back from whatever it is. And be a bit tongue-in-cheek, laugh at the difficult things. The comic sees and accepts the messiness of life, using it as material to be mixed and shaped into a potion to soothe the stressed and serious mind. They literally lighten us up. Thus, within the comic is usually the sage or the magician. It's funny, Cancer had the Fool and the Emperor. So I feel like, I don't know if this is you or somebody around you, there's something about somebody who presents as being a bit foolish, somebody who presents as being silly, but they're actually very highly advanced. It's almost like an old soul, but they present as being like the child. The comic is usually the sage or the magician, working healing magic upon any audience who will lend an ear. The comic may be the archetype that heals the deep division in our world, one pun at a time. When light, hilarious, ingenious, spirited and easygoing, but this is not what your shadow side is today. Your shadow side is the dark energy of this card, which says sarcastic, harsh, brooding and drunk. So you want to be careful that you're not using humour as a weapon. Humour isn't, you may want to just watch what you're saying right now. Maybe sarcasm isn't the right way to handle a situation. And definitely brooding, that's definitely what I'm picking on for you. Go deeper. Images of the laughing Buddha, stand-up comedy or improv. Joy, jokes and smiles are a sign of a happy heart. Be wary of spiritual practices or teachers who leave the comic by the wayside. So anyone who's dismissing the fun is not to be trusted right now. The comic has plenty of shade to throw on others, and it can fall into shadow at the drop of a hat. Beware of their sharp claws. Be careful, because not everybody may have the same sense of humour as you, and you may use humour. I do it. I like to poke fun at people, and the more comfortable I am with somebody, the more friendly I feel with them, the higher the relationship that I have with them, the more likely I am to be able to make quite rude jokes, a little bit sarcastic, a little bit offensive, very deadpan, because I feel like my relationship's good enough with that person that they'll take it the right way. I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm trying to almost say the opposite of what should be said to be funny. Certain people take it really well. It's the relationship I have with my daughter. We'll just say horrible things to each other and it's funny and we know we don't mean it. It's because we're close that we can say that. Where you just want to be careful, because not everybody takes it the same way. Some people take it to heart. Again, depending on the placements there. I can't really be like that with my son because he takes it seriously. So there's something there for somebody. Just watch out that you're not becoming like a bit bitter and jaded with your humour when you're feeling stuck and frustrated. Comedy should heal, not hurt. Somebody else had something like that. I can't remember who it was. Can't for the life of me remember, but it was this week. Somebody had just be careful not to be too sarcastic in one of the readings. I'm feeling like it could have been Nicholas Ashbow that said it, but I don't know who it was for. But yeah, they had this warning of don't be. I mean, if you go to Nicholas Ashbow's channel, he has his channel messages, and you can go down each one. I think it's in community rather than the videos. He kind of writes it out as a bullet post of the reading. I think it's probably in there. Right, how do we heal this? How does Virgo heal this? How does Virgo heal this? Balance and crystal. There you go. That is so funny. That was one of the things I heard. Crystal. Right, well, I'm reading that then. Strong Libra. Strong Libra here. Balance. Libra is the scales in in the tarot, it's symbolized by a pair of scales. It's the Justice card. A pair of scales is what I'm trying to say. You know, this and that, both sides. And the crystal, when I've read the description of this card, it talks to me about the Libra Diamond Heart, which is, it came through in readings where it was something about being crystal clear, being very open emotionally about your feelings, being able to shine a light through. It's got a lot of motifs that have developed over time, but being able to shine a light through something and see it from every angle, see it very, very clearly, and it's very authentic. So Libran energy is very much about honesty, authenticity, clarity, that kind of Queen of Swords energy as well. So if you have Libra placements, you're being called to use them at this time. You may find a Libra helpful, but there's something to do with like trust as well, seeing clearly and trusting, like everything, cards on the table, right? Like not hiding anything. But I'll read the actual meaning of the cards. Just both those cards are like Libra to me. Right, balance. Because there's something as well about that energy. It doesn't have to be a literal Libra, but that energy it shines through things. It brings clarity. It brings truths to the surface. It makes things fair. So there's something to do with like, I'm not sure what it is for you, right? I'm just going to read it. Balance. What you are experiencing in your life now is transitional. The dragon, balance, depicts aspects of us as a whole, our light and shadow sides. Oh, it says it happens in a shadow reading. As humans, we show the world our many different sides, for we are multifaceted. What was I just saying about the diamond heart? Right. We are multifaceted and can change from situation to situation. These aspects could include our compassion, frustration, love, irritation, joy, and so on. His appearance in your spread is to remind you that everything is perfect, even if the situation you find yourself in is pushing your buttons. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to push your buttons. It's a shadow reading. That's what they're about. Balance says fear and frustration only serve one purpose, and that is to disempower. So you're actually disempowering yourself when you get into that fear and frustration energy. Life on earth is all about achieving a personal equilibrium, seeing things for what they are, balancing your daily activities and demands with time to laugh and play. That's what you've been getting for a couple of weeks, Virgo. You run the risk of becoming too serious, why so serious, and caught up in the dramas that are unfolding in your life right now by not allowing yourself time to play. You can call upon my energy and wisdom to guide you to be more balanced in how you view or feel about your situation. Sorry, I'm just reminding, like I say, I've got a lot of Virgos around me, one of whom has been struggling a little bit recently, and they're very down in the dumps. They're being a bit of an Eeyore sad sack right now. And it's difficult for me to see them in that energy and to not feel like I can do anything about it, and then I just feel drained by it as well. So it's difficult for me to be around that person when they're in that Eeyore energy, you know, Eeyore, Winnie the Pooh, when they're stuck in their own head and they can't lighten up, and that sounds selfish from my behalf, but there's nothing I can do, right? So it's difficult. Where I was with another Virgo yesterday and they got a little bit drunk. I wasn't drinking, I'm trying not to drink, but they were in a very playful mood, and we were kind of like trying to do headstands and silly yoga poses like the crow and things, and they were in a very playful mood. So there is this need to lighten up, to laugh, to be silly, to be like a child. It's a better energy for you to be in than the Eeyore energy, right? It doesn't serve you to be in that energy. You cannot have the darkness without the light, the sun without the moon. Do you need to learn to say no, or to look at your personal boundaries? Are they being crossed too often? Maybe you should say yes to things, which, although they make you fearful, will assist your personal and spiritual growth. Remember that what you are experiencing in your life now is transitional. It won't last forever. This, like much of life, is a phase, a lesson, and it too soon will pass. If you find yourself in a perplexing situation, ask for his wisdom to be bestowed upon you. Balance will guide you to understanding, to know in your heart what you can do, or indeed, if you need to do anything at all. Sometimes all that is required is patience. That's the thing as well with the person who's, I mean, they're struggling, right? There's things going on for them and they're getting in their head about it, and their energy's really low. They're beating themselves up about things. And it's like, all I want for them is to be able to play and to be silly. And they're so serious, and it's like, and this is coming from a place of love, right? This is coming from me being, seeing them in the dark and wanting them to be in the light, and, perhaps playing the fool a little bit. But I don't know, my own personal things, just because it's coming through with like the Libra. And then it's like sometimes when you're in a silly mood, it can irritate the person because they're, not in the right frame of mind to deal with that. Okay. Let me guide you in flowing with the rhythm of your life. This beautiful and peaceful dragon's main role as a galactic dragon is to support all the indigo and crystal children who have special and unusual abilities and traits. Adults and those on the autistic spectrum. So this dragon helps people who are indigo and crystal children. You can go and Google that if you like. People with unusual abilities and traits, and people on the autistic spectrum. She is, in fact, named after the crystal children. She fully understands the complexities that accompany these children and adults, so is here to support them and their families as much as possible. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because I got the name Crystal and then this card's come out. She urges us to explore the richness of talent in whatever area works for them. For example, this could be numbers, sport, art, music, or pottery, or even anything that allows the mind to unleash and creativity to flow. She understands that the classroom, with its restraints and rules of quiet and concentration, often do not work for these naturally inquisitive artistic souls. I'm really getting tongue-tied, so I don't know if that's somebody that you're dealing with. If Crystal has swooped into your cards today, she encourages you to add colour, vibrancy, or shape to your life. Add colour to your life. In any way you're drawn to. She asks, have you been too rigid in your thinking, expectation, or outlook on life? Have you, Virgo, too rigid in your thinking? Let me guide you in flowing with the rhythm of your life. And loosen any feelings of tension from your body. I said tension in your body, your shoulders and neck, right? Allow your mind to daydream and let it explore new possibilities, find creative pursuits and free your soul. Our lives rarely flow along a straight route. They are always full of twists and turns. She goes on to say, learn to follow the ebb and flow of the tide of your existence here on earth. Struggle and resistance do not serve you. They simply frustrate and vex you. Struggle and resistance do not serve you. They just get you more entangled, right, in that devil's snare. She asks us why we do a job we hate. Virgo. She asks us, why do we do a job we hate? Or stay with a partner we can't communicate with if it makes us unhappy? Be true to yourself, be authentic in your life, and allow yourself to let go of the things that don't bring warmth to your very being. Crystal encourages us to follow our dreams, live our joy, and be open to new possibilities. That card came out. I did a Tell Me Anything reading, a pick a card reading. I haven't put it up yet. I may do so, just because the first two were brilliant, and then the third one was so dark. It was like a proper dive into somebody's shadow side, but they were so comfortable doing it. But it took me a while to understand the message, and I was really worried because it was almost being comfortable with depression was the way it was coming through in the card reading, I was worried about how the reception of that reading would go, so I kind of left it to one side. I was thinking about re-recording it. I may put it up though, because the actual messages were brilliant. It was all about what's your magic, what's your superpower, and one of them, this crystal card came out, and it was so beautiful because it really was like, the message of that reading was like, you can help individuals, you can see, like, you can take people out of a very structured environment and you see their potential and you see their uniqueness and how special they are, and you can, like, it's like literally like you could be working with autistic children or something, and it was like you were making them see the potential in themselves, and it was such a beautiful message. So I may put that reading up because it was gorgeous, but there's something there with that. Let people be unique, like let people be weird. I'm getting really hot all of a sudden, so hot. It's not just the humidity though, it's like Kundalini energy coming up. Where will this take Virgo? If they do this shadow work, where will it take Virgo? If you get out of your own head, if you stop tangling yourself up in your own anxieties and fears and frustrations, you've got boundaries and you've got the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? And you've got Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So there is a release here. There's the drawing of boundaries energetically, I feel. The ability to draw energetic boundaries, to push out the noise, the confusion, the things that don't serve you, to give yourself space and to push apart. It's like almost like she's pushing apart this tower moment. Do you see this? It's like she's pushing the walls of the tower apart and she's letting the new like come in. And just notice as well the darkness in the color. And you're being called to journey to like this new place, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Like, look at that. It's like pushing away all the old structures. You know, it can literally be school. It can be like a school system that doesn't work for everybody because it treats everybody the same, where people aren't the same, they're individuals. So there's something to do with like individuality pushing through. It's like you could have someone, could have a child who perhaps is on the autism spectrum, perhaps a child with Asperger's, and you see it sometimes where a child can, because they go very, very in depth into the passions and interests that they have, you know, they learn everything about the thing that they're passionate about. So it's like, they're giving me dinosaurs. It doesn't have to be dinosaurs. It's like that enthusiasm for one subject, one topic, makes them a master of that. So they could be really enthusiastic about dinosaurs, right? And it's like they become, like, they go on to university, they go into to be an expert in the field about like actually educating other people about this thing that they're so passionate about. But they don't have to be good at maths, they don't have to be good at PE, they don't have to be good at I don't know, what else is there that you have to learn? Cooking in school, or, you know, craft design technology, whatever it is, RE, you know, all these other things that just clog up the mind and clog up that space. You know, there's a lot of children as well who are special children who have a lot of different challenges that they're facing, or a lot of different things that make them unique, where the school system, because it paints everybody into a box, it's like this is the system, it's so unwielding, you know, unyielding, and it's forcing them to be something they're not. It's forcing them to wear a mask and for them to be miserable. Where actually, if you allow children more to do more of what they love and worry less about the things that upsets them, that they don't love to do. It's great to try different things, but it's almost like cruel. It's almost like torture. You know, if a child hates PE, if they're, you know, if a child's uncomfortable with their physical body, if they are not naturally good at I don't know, baseball, and they're forced into the uniform, they're forced out onto the pitch 2 or 3 times a week, they struggle to catch, you know, they could be clumsy, you know, things like dyspraxia, and you've got someone there like forcing them to do it, forcing them to improve. It is like a form of torture. It's cruel. So I think there needs to be more allowance for, and it's not saying like just don't take part, don't do any sports. It's like maybe there could be more options in terms of like, well, maybe one person loves baseball, but one person loves yoga, one person loves dance, one person loves swimming. It's like there should be more options to do the things that, you know, it's like, yes, you have to have physical activity, but there should be more choice about how you do that physical activity. So something like that coming through there. I've gone on a rant, I don't know why, but it's a message for somebody somewhere. So I feel like we've got a lot of Aquarian energy coming through universally at the moment, which is more innovative, which is more allowing people to be individual, rather than that kind of Capricorn energy that we've been in for the past few years, that is more to do with like the structure, the rule book, the systems. It's like this system works. Well, yeah, the system might work for the whole, but like broadly speaking, but for most people it doesn't work on an individual level. So how do we make that better? How do we give people more choice? How do we push away the authority in our lives that doesn't work for everybody? The crumbling. What are you clinging on to? There is a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic, because it's like some people love the rule book. Some people, you know, they like having those goalposts. They like being able to achieve. Some people, the school system, the current system, works brilliantly for them because it's in their favor, which isn't fair to the people who the system isn't in their favor, right? Whereas like if you change the goalposts, if you change the rules, you might find that success could be defined differently. Success defined differently. It's how we define success. That's what needs to be changed. The definition of success is what needs to be changed. Okay, what are you clinging on to? There is a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic can no longer survive. Relationships, jobs, social structures, anything built on shaky ground is designed to tumble down. It's happening to bring you back home to who you truly are, both individually and as a society as a whole, so you can live a life that is in alignment with who you truly are. When you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a personal attack from the universe. Have faith, because the difficult times will be your defining moments. You will be reborn in the fire. You are being called to surrender, surrender, Virgo, to stop trying to hold it all together, to loosen your grip, to let the crumbling occur. It may be difficult at first, but in the end, the sooner you let go, the sooner the rebirthing will occur. What are you trying to hold together? What are you doing your best to avoid? How are you trying to pretend that everything is okay? You have what it takes to allow what is falling away to tumble and fall. Once the tower has crumbled, you will be able to rebuild your home on solid ground with mighty foundations and a view that's so magnificent that it will take your breath away each new morn. Kali, the goddess of destruction, and the Black Madonna are with you now. Lay it all on their altar. They can hold it all. They can hold it all. Work your light inquiry. What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming in to take its place? What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming in to take its place? Okay, boundaries. So I'm just trying to find the page. Boundaries, where are you? I can't find my boundaries. 38. Okay. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? You are being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family, or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal, but before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you are left feeling depleted, resentful, or taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries, for when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand, and you are able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment, and energetic cause to be planted. If you are saying yes when you really mean no, you are likely needing something yourself. Ask yourself, what part of me needs something from them? It could be a need for approval, a fear of being seen in a certain way, or a fear of loss. The best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. That's so funny because I kept on touching my belly, if you remember. Your belly is the second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you, how does it feel, and what is it trying to communicate with you. Work your light inquiry. Where in your life do you need to establish better boundaries? All right, maybe me with my curtains, get back there. Right, okay, I hope that was helpful to you. I need to pull another card on that comic. Give me another card on the comic. Why is the comic here? This is the last card, I promise, Virgo. I try and do shorter readings, but yours is really long, which is funny because it was a Virgo that told me my readings were too long. Competition. Competition? Refusing to look at yourself. Refusing to look at the ways that you're competitive. Refusing to look at... They're like avoiding. There's avoidance here. Why is there avoidance here on this Five of Inspiration card? What's the avoidance? What's the avoidance? Hierophant. This is like the rule book. This is like the structure, the establishment, the authority. You're refusing to look at your own relationship with authority figures. Or you're refusing to see yourself as an authority figure. You need to seek your own guidance, she's seeking guidance from herself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah, you've got two cards about conflict here. You've got some kind of inner conflict and you're refusing to... You can see it's almost like if it was a mirror, she's always like pushing her own face away. She's not looking at herself in the mirror. You're not looking at yourself in the mirror. You've got some kind of internal conflict. It's to do with humor and being like playful and funny. And you need to learn to love yourself. And that's how you get to the sun. And that's how you get out of the stuck energy. Look again, this kind of turning away. You need to make a choice. You need to make a choice to open up, to love yourself, to get out of internal conflict, and that's what's going to bring you into this sun energy. That's going to be what brings you into this ability to have the rest and have the peace. All right. That's really interesting, isn't it? Like pushing yourself away. There may be a conflict. There's something in you that you're not looking at. You're very conflicted over it. There's something in you that you can't face, that you can't face yourself, but you have to. And it's something to do with like tradition, rules, structure, society, religion. Almost feels like somebody was like the class clown, and this caused them to feel like they didn't fit in with some kind of like the authority, you know, like the school system. Like being the clown was disapproved of, so it was suppressed. But you have to bring love into yourself. All right, I'm leaving it there. I hope it was helpful to you. Do leave me a like if you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave me a comment if anything particularly resonated. Watch out for links in the description box. Don't click, sorry, not in the description box. Look out for links in the comment boxes. Don't click them. Please report them if you see them. And I'm not approaching you for money or anything like that. My readings are completely free. Yeah, do take care, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, Virgo. Take care of yourself. Take care of your own. Look yourself in the mirror and take care of the person you see in that mirror, because you need to do that. All right, take care. Bye-bye.